Welcome to the Edgerton Public Library. My name is Kirsten, and I'm here for our 6th week of our Reading Adventure Club. It's hard to believe, 6 weeks. Each week we've been focusing on a different letter and sharing some book ideas, as well as some crafts and activities connected to a certain letter of the alphabet. So I'm going to flip my camera around and get started. We started our Reading Adventure Club back in September with letter A, and this week, the week of October 12th, we're up to letter F. Each week we've been including a writing activity for you that connects to the letter of the week, so I hope you've been creating some great stories. This week, to celebrate fall, we have directions and a few materials to make a fall fairy. That's what that kind of space alien face is for. We also have a fortune-telling fish in your packet. So I thought I would try to tell my fortune right now. We're going to put the fish on my hand and then find out what it means by looking at the back. So let's see what this fish is going to do. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so it might be hard to get it to stay on my hand. There we go. Okay, its tail and head are moving. Let's see what that means. Moving head and tail. In love. Wow. Well, you can take your fortune and take the fortune of your family members with your Reading Adventure packet this week. I've been collecting all my stories in a binder. We've got a cover page that has amazing adjectives for every letter of the alphabet. And if you started with letter A or letter B, you probably picked up a binder. If not, I think we're out of those, but we're still making extra copies of the story for each week. So if you miss a packet, you can add to your story. Well, I'm going to move over to another table and share some book ideas with you. Sometimes it's hard to think of what to read, and you might want to challenge yourself to read about different subjects and different authors, and maybe focus on a different letter of the week. So for letter F, our library has quite a few books about Fortnite. So not only can you play the game, but you can read about it. So come check those out or put them on hold. How about Ferris wheels? It'd be fun to read about the history of Ferris wheels and some statistics about like the highest and fastest Ferris wheel. Okay. This True or False series has been very popular at our library. We have lots of different topics in the True or False series. I pulled out this one because of that F word, fashion and clothing. How about some books on fishing? This week might be a great time to read about fly fishing, freshwater fishing, or fishing in general. And those are found in our nonfiction section. A lot of kids love to read about animals. So we've got quite a few books on foxes, and some are about specific kind of foxes. So there's a general book of foxes. We have a couple on Arctic foxes and the fennec fox. Okay. This book on Arctic foxes is part of a series. It's called Life at the Poles. And often our books are purchased in series. You can see all the different subjects, and they're shelved apart in the library. So if you ever want to look for some of the other books in the series, just ask us for help or look up the series name on the catalog. Okay? So this series, for example, has a book about penguins, so it's going to be shelved with the other books about penguins. Well, we can't think about animals with the letter F without thinking about frogs. And again, there's lots of different kinds of frogs. Here's a book on poison dart frogs. They're sure interesting, about endangered species, and a few general books on frogs. Yeah. And some frogs are fictional. So here's the Frog and Toad series. These books are in our Easy Readers. Okay, the author is Arnold Lobel, so you can look for those. And in our picture book section, here's some good F books, Friendly Flyers, Farm Fleet. And if you're interested in reading about farms, we have quite a few books about farm machinery, animals on the farm, different types of things that can take different kinds of farming. Okay? And again, this one is part of a series, so you can see buildings, animals, machines, and plants on the farm. I'm going to hop over to another table. Here are some books in our chapter book section by authors whose last names start with the letter F. So we've got Inkspell, Fearless, and Reckless, just a few of the many, many books by the author Cornelia Funk. If you're a fantasy fan and like a chapter book that's really going to take you away, you might look up this author, Cornelia Funk. Here's a new series by Julie Falacco, Two Dogs in a Trench Coat, and we have a couple books in that series. Reading about Lego books is very popular in our library. We have them all over in the picture books, the easy readers, the chapter books. This series is written by the author Greg Farshtey, and it's Secret Mission. So there's 4 books in that series. So if you're a Lego fan, check that out. Here's a series of books about horses, Phantom Stallion, and the author is Terry Farley. This author was actually visiting in Edgerton and had the chance to go to Edgerton Community Elementary and Yahara. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago, so some of you may recognize that name, Terry Farley. I'm going to hop over to another table. October, the month of October certainly makes us think about fall. So if you're reading books about different subjects that start with the letter F, any book about fall would fit in that category. Right now we have a display in the main part of our library with some fall books. Some are about Halloween, some are kind of spooky books. We've got a Scooby-Doo, Choose Your Own Adventure, books about fall, things like pumpkins and leaves. So come and browse those fall books. We're also playing a game of Fall Fun Library Bingo for the entire month of October. One of the squares on this bingo game is to attend a virtual library program, which if you're watching this is what you're doing right now. One of the squares is to check out a book from a book display. So if you got one of those fall books, that would certainly count for that. Tell a friend about the Edgerton Public Library. I'd love it if you told your friends to come and pick up a reading adventure packet. Okay? And another activity is, or another square is to complete an activity packet. So if you're completing these activities, you're well on your way to a bingo. And everyone who completes a bingo will win a mug like this. And if you do the activities as a family, everyone in your family can win a mug. Well, thanks for joining me today to learn more about our Reading Adventure Club. Hopefully you got a few book ideas, subjects that start with the letter F, or authors who start with the letter F, and come and pick up a packet. And I hope I see you at the library again really soon. Bye-bye.